when Drew reached out to me to work on Dom Love, he had the song written, he just kind of wanted it brought to life, and that's kind of what I did. Hello, my name is Casey Gorab. I'm a composer and a songwriter, and I'm super happy to be a part of Dom Love. This was awesome to work on. I took everything that he had the vocals, and he had a guitar idea, and put it into Logic, which is my computer program right here that I use to produce. All right, so I'm gonna take you through the song. We're gonna listen, and I'll point out some Easter eggs that you may or may not have heard on your first listen. So I'll start off by playing the intro. For the intro, we wanted to start it off with a riser. That always just was an idea that Drew had. So we played around with a bunch of different sounds. We ended up on this one. It's a reversed piano sound effect, actually, which is pretty cool. And I put a little delay effect on that too to have it bridge into the intro so it kind of flows a little bit. So it's the same vibe as the intro, right? But now his voice is in it. We hear the words. Alright, now we get to the chorus. So yeah, all of verse 1 was really the same overall vibe that we had in the intro. For chorus 1, all that we really did was we added a bass, and the bass was just meant to add a little bit of weight. Going into verse 2, this is where a lot of the other effects and the other instruments come in. We got a string line there. And I'll pause there. So we got a whole string section. So we got violins, violas, cellos, a bass, and then a little synth here too. So we got a little melody going, right? My favorite things that we did was we echoed that little melody in the piano. And this may not be something you really are actively listening to, but it's a fun little thing that just adds texture to it. So it's kind of like a little counter melody going on with the strings. Let me play both of them together. So the strings and the piano are kind of bouncing back and forth with each other. And then low run. I like that part, that was fun. We also added a lot of vocal harmonies in there and some ms and ohs to really build on that texture. So we have the strings that are supporting it, but we also have his harmonies. They're gonna come in. So that little melody, right, is the same thing that the strings are playing. So all together, it creates just a very full palette of that counter melody that's going on to support it. And a nice little O in there too. Alright, So now we're going into the chorus. So that was our second chorus. The guitar was done by Miguel Alvizo. He recorded and sent to us this part, which was super, super cool. He recorded it really well, so it was super easy to just kind of plug it all in and blend it with everything. You know, to make everything sound like it's part of the same song and in the same room, I guess, for lack of a better term. Reverb is a good way to glue all of that together. So production-wise, even though the guitar and the vocals and a lot of the strings are all MIDI from virtual instruments, I have my keyboard, so I played that all right there. Chorus 2, it's coming from verse 2, which already we're developing a lot of stuff. So chorus 1, we didn't want to go crazy with any big instrumentation or anything. We're only a minute or so into the song, and we want people to really like focus on the lyrics, focus on the melody, really understand like what the song is about. But now that we're getting more into the emotional side of things and people already kind of can hum along to it in a sense, you kind of have more freedom to make the instrumentation a little bit bigger and just kind of grow in that sense. So chorus 2 comes to an end and we're moving on to the instrumental bridge, so let's check that out. So I love this bridge because one of the first things Drew ever sent me was a GarageBand little mock-up, and it had vibraphone, like super, super loud. And I'm like, that's so cool. I just wasn't expecting it at all. On this bridge, we kind of went back and forth a lot on what we really want the main instrument to be, because we have the guitar and we do have some vibraphone in there. Both of those are very prominent instruments, so we're like, what do we really have as the main focus? We ended up deciding on guitar, but the vibraphone is still in there if you listen closely. Lots of, you know, lots of reverb and lots of resonance in there. And then when you got that with the guitar, you're still hearing the guitar, right? But the vibraphone just adds a little, I don't even know what the word is to it. It's like a charm, just a nice charm to it. It's almost like an innocence in a way, I don't know. But I love that part. So that's the main focus. We have some piano chords supporting. Bum, 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 ba-da-da-da-dum, bum, ba-da-da-da-dum. So that's there to help support, and of course we have the strings soaring, the violins, which is nice. Bum, 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 bum. And the strings carry out into verse 3. So here we're pulling back on the instruments, because if you listen to the words, it's kind of self-explanatory, right? We're talking about sadness, we're talking about regret, we're reflecting on the not-so-great side of things that comes from your first love. So we want people listening to it to just like sit with that, you know? Like you come from this big romanticized idea and then you're back to reality. So that's kind of what verse 3 is functioning as. Stop trying to tell you how you low strings right here. Just a very, very subtle string section. And then your main melody on the guitar comes back in. There's a little echo there. what's left are my thoughts. And now, listen to the words. All that's left are my thoughts. We want to really illustrate the idea of you just sitting in silence with your thoughts. So we got rid of all of the rhythm in the guitar, really, and we're literally just doing chords. Boom. Rest. What's left are my thoughts. Right, silence. You're sitting there. Another broken thing or two. That part's just fun. I like that part. Want to give up. I'm not giving up on you. Rolling the guitar chords. And that is the song. It's very good. He sounds so great. What's really cool about working on this project is I've produced some of my own songs and I've helped produce friends' songs, but this is really the first song of somebody else's that they fully trusted me with, which I'm really excited about. I loved writing that string part and the piano part and just really collaborating with Drew and thinking about all the emotions that we can get into this thing, and he was all in, which was super, super cool. It was really a team effort. We were texting back and forth all of the time, so many variations of it, and he was working on it just as much as I was. I mean, it was really a really, really collaborative thing, and he just sounds really, really good. His voice sounds awesome, and hearing the first version of it, which was just a sketch of him playing his guitar, and now just seeing everything we were able to turn it into, it's super cool. And for anybody who has listened to this, thank you so much. First of all, it means a lot to both me and Drew. To anybody who hasn't listened to it, you should. Just by listening to songs and adding it to a playlist, or even liking it or favoriting it, is gonna mean a ton to both of us. And he's gonna be putting out a lot more music soon, and he's really good, so you gotta keep following him. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something fun. Feel free to stay in touch. Follow me on social media. I'm at Casey Gorab Music on all platforms, and follow Drew on social media too, at Drew Raskin. And yeah, peace. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I'll be like a YouTuber. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.